God went to the provinces of the governors of heaven, whom he had previously appointed and sent forth to dwell near the earth. And as he himself had been commissioned by Jehovah in Hord, so did he install the governors on their seats. Now, the governors were situated at remote distances within Whaga, Pan, but God sent messengers to them, notifying them of the time he would appear. And the Lord Whaga, being apprised or notified of God's journey, established a protectorate in the Lord's kingdom in the city of Olu, on earth, and went and joined the ship of God, and traveled with him throughout Whaga, being present at the inauguration of the governors in these heavens. To each and all the governors, God said, "Remember that the responsibility given my governors pertains to things in heaven, for the Lord's matters, or affairs, pertain to earthly things, and to angels who labor with the corporeans. But you are to attend to the Essenes, receiving them in heaven, providing them with places to live in, and in their helplessness supplied them with food, clothes and the rudiments of learning." God said, "Keep in mind also, the time will come when each of these governorships shall develop into an independent kingdom, and instead of being governors you shall be raised as sub-gods." After God established the governors, the Lord persuaded God to visit his place in Olu, and from there, travel about over the earth, and see the mortals with whom the Lord had to deal. And God consented, and the Lord sent messengers before him, so that the house of the Lord, which mortals had built, would be replenished and cleansed. And the protectorate notified the Ashars, and the Ashars impressed mortals to go clean and purify the house of the Lord. And so mortals went to work cleaning the place, and they burned incense of sweet myrrh and hepatin, not knowing they were fulfilling the command of the Lord. When the ship of the hosts of God came to the city of Olu, mortals saw it high up in the air, and they feared and quickly ran to consult the prophet of the Lord. And the prophet said, "Behold, God appears in a sea of fire in the firmament of heaven." And God caused the ship to be made unseen, so that fear would subside on earth, and he descended with his hosts into the house of the Lord, and they went and touched the things mortals had built, so that they could perceive corporeally. Then the Lord gave a banquet, and the angels of God stayed 4 days, exchanging fellowship with the Ashars, who ministered to mortals. And the Ashars took the angels of God among mortals, both while mortals were asleep and awake, showing the angels all things. And because of the presence of the hosts of God, mortals were roused up with new vigor to worship the Lord, rising early and going to the house of worship, and continuing all day, and not one of them knew the cause of it. On the evening of the 4th day, God commanded his hosts to prepare to renew the journey, and the ship was again illumined and readied for its course. God said, "O Jehovah, who creates all, look down and bless your Lord. From his high estate in Etheria he has descended to these poor mortals to lift them up. Already he has toiled with them 100 years. 3 generations have risen up out of the earth, and they begin to glorify you in your kingdoms above the earth. Who but you, O Jehovah, can honor your Lord, or know his sore trials? Behold, man grows up out of the earth, saying, there is no Lord and no God. But his feet and his hands are guided every hour of the day. And when he enters the unseen worlds, these realms become seen, but he is helpless in a strange place. And your Lord provides for him, and teaches him your kingdoms. Your Lord goes from place to place on the earth. He finds a corner and says, I will build a city here. He sends forth his angels and they inspire man on the earth to come and build a city. Yet when the city is built, man says, behold, there is no God and no Lord. Your Lord brings the corporeans together, and guards them day and night, but man turns away in strife and destruction. Then your Lord withdraws his angels from the city, because of its wickedness, and lo, the city falls in ruins. But man does not know the cause. Yet your Lord toils on, day and night, watching, guarding, and striving to lift man out of darkness. O Jehovah, Father, bless your Lord and his hosts. Bring quickly the time when man shall comprehend the foundations of your kingdoms. The Lord said, O Jehovah, ever present, hear the words of your God, he who comprehends the whole earth, and the heaven of the earth, knowing no day or night. He deals with millions. His judgment is sufficient for all. Glorify him, your Son, of heaven and earth. He fashions the homes of your lords, and your little ones in great wisdom. His love is the glory of all men, his strength fashioned after your foundations. Give swiftness and rest, and joy in your quickening of him, your God. The mortals of the city of Olu had gathered together to worship, and they were singing and dancing to the Lord, and the angels joined in the singing also. And God went and sat on the altar and illuminated it, so the mortals could see him. Then the chief prophet came near the place of the Lord, and the Lord placed his hand on the forehead of the prophet, so he could speak in the name of God. The prophet said, Behold me, I am the God of heaven and earth, and my words come out of the mouth of this my prophet. Keep holy the 4 days of the moon, for they are the Lord's days. Do no evil, but strive for wisdom, and to do good. And when you are dead, behold, you shall live, for I have places prepared for you in my heaven. Rejoice and be merry, for the Lord lives and reigns. When the prophet ceased, God rose up from the altar, and his traveling host also, and saluting the Lord in the name of Jehovah, disappeared in heaven above.